Yeah, but
I prefer
the bias that we're talking about is if there's actually something that is making you a focus point at the moment, then there should be a question around it.
Yeah.
Now, depending on how biased you want to go around it, but framing where people feel like, okay, they feel good about this question. Exactly.
Very professional. Don't make your bias stand out.
Like, try to be like more like Piers Morgan, capping.
Some might disagree.
well, that's what I'm saying. But then again, truly, to your point, he's very strategic about it. He'll find someone that is not aware enough, and he might pose like the kind of question for the opposition side, knowing that the person doesn't really care much about that narrative, and then for narrative's sake, he will always say, "Yeah, I do ask questions like this. I support both sides, and I create a platform for all sides to be able to talk and let them know exactly where they stand." but yeah, so for narrative's sake, as a journalist, he's doing a good job.
Trying to know what that does for our people. Because first of all, like I said, it's not easy for them. First of all, because they are the voice of the people. They want to be the voice of people.
Right.
And first of all, Nigerians really hate the government.
Right.
It kind of makes their work quite easy. You know, just bring some dumbass politician and blow him and and make him look
cloud. Yeah.
But I don't know, we want to educate more people to look at cold-blooded facts without sentiments. You get? That's what I would prefer, but like I said, it's there.
So, but is this anything about Arise TV or just all news stations? Does CNN and Fox give you hard, cold facts without sentiment?
They do, but they just frame it in a way. They frame it in a way.
So, then they make the narrative in a way. It's the narrative that they control.
Yeah.
They can give you the news, but they control the narrative. They'll find you a war general that supports the vision that they want you to see. They'll find, like, you see, that's actually still the good work. Now it comes down to the consumer.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
You know, CNN is always.
Yeah, it's always. It seems like y'all never. Okay, what's going on here? Like, you can't compete. You can't be. What is the consumer that just comes and is like, like, if that's the kind of consumer you want to be, good. But don't open your mouth. Be like that too when people are actually talking. Be like this.
You have to consume this news, like no pepper soup, you have a lot of catfish and bones and shit. You have to eat everything and leave the bones.
Yeah, like
no, eat it with sense, very good choke.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, you're not just gonna swallow the whole fish.
Yeah, exactly.
And then decide you gurgitate the bones.
We can't really blame our rice at the end of the day.
Right.
Yeah.
Because at the same time, yes, when the place has to earn money, they have to earn money.
They have to.
It's just like the same way, exactly. It's just like the same way in the United States. We know these cops have quotas that they have to make. So sometimes, maybe he doesn't mean to be a douchebag, but he will be a douchebag for his quotas that he has to make. So, same thing for these medias. But now, it's all about the people.
The intelligence of the people.
Now, it's not even about all the intelligence of the people. It's about the community that you've created for yourself. I promise I will continue to preach and emphasize that, like, look, discover the talents within your own groups. Look for the people that are willing to be argumentative, and find reasonable cause to what these people are saying. Find them in your community and let them be like the source of, like, all these things can never be. If you say you're consuming something for the welfare of the country, you cannot just be consuming it like it's for BET. If you consume it for BET and it's for entertainment, let it be that. But if you consume it for the awareness of the growth of your country, where you're trying to find what is going on within the economics of the country, what is trying to go on within the governance of the country, what is trying to go on within the military of the country, all of these things, then find people that have a passion for it. Like, you understand what I'm trying to say? Trust that those people will not lead you astray because they are hungry and their niche is trying to aim for those spaces. It's not like let them be like your news. They might not make it to that platform, but those are the people that will help you make it to those. You understand what I'm saying? Because this metrics of news now is about who is listening to you. If you understand what I'm trying to say. So now, but if you know people that are actually interested in these kind of things and they're giving you like the 401, they're willing to break down all these kind of things, that is where you should cast your vote. Not necessarily like thinking you can treat BET as the same way as NTA or channels or CNN. No, it's not. You cannot treat
News should not be entertainment.
It's not. It's a feed where you go to feed yourself.
But is it a game of numbers? So as NTA now, if there's
Because they gotta make their numbers. They gotta make their money. Yeah.
We show Blackberry Dark Plan, and maybe people will click more.
Exactly. So but they can coach Blueberry Black Man to say, hey, this is what we need you to say, motherfucker.
Can't coach him.
Exactly, yeah, because guess what?
That's what they do.
They are willing to cough out something to get that person there. So if you sign an agreement, nobody's mad at an agreement. But you need to start understanding that just because it's built, you get what I'm saying? Even thank you for bringing that point up. Treat BET. Where did you see this billboard on BET? Don't let it come to this space and cloud your judgment. No, that was BET, my nigga. This is where you get your feeds.
Exactly. So if you're listening to Very Dark Man or someone like that, you should have that back of your mind. Okay, this is not a trained journalist.
Right.
Skepticism should be the order of the day.
Thank you.
Right.
That's what we're saying.
Right.
And big ups the kids in your community that are going to foster their education. That's how we can create. That's how we can create community welfare.
Right.
Big up the people in your community that are going to foster that kind of education.
Yeah.
It's not like because you want them to be your new, but it's because when the time, you know how you're passing by, you're like, hey, Chidalo, you heard what Very Dark Man said, hey, come here, brother, quickly. But you understand, but you're bigging up that person in your community because you know when the time comes, when it comes to election, when it comes to this, you know the people that will speak within your community and you're expecting them to give you your 411.
Okay.
We can't play this game like everything is social media. You understand what I'm trying to say?
Got you. Do you guys think
I have a question. So would you judge because sometimes I find it hard to would you judge information based on the source? Does the source influence how you receive information?
Of course not.
Should it though? Shouldn't you? I think
that's the part where we're talking about emotion and ignorance.
Yeah, you should see. Okay, despite the fact it might be someone I don't like Piers Morgan, or even if it's so a lot of people don't like Elon Musk now. He's annoying. A lot of find it annoying, but I don't think you should deter people from still looking up something. Don't just assume that it's wrong. It's rubbish just because of
who said
source you don't like.
Right. Yeah, that's what you were saying. Yeah.
But for an average individual, they might not care about that. But if they big up that person in that community that doesn't care about emotional, but is always caring about exactly.
Like say David Hunting, a lot of Nigerians and like people saw that people loved him. He could do no wrong in the journalist. He could do no wrong in their eyes. But like a lot of times he posted like fake news or news that just simply weren't true. But
I still want to know what him and that conversation him and man had. I still want to know. I just want to know how deep the conversation was. Like no journalist ever sat down and was like, sir, this conversation that you have with this madman. So how deep?
My point is that like every you should scrutinize news and validate it and make sure it's at least to a large percentage probably true. Don't just run with anything you see just because of it comes from a source you trust, or because of or just straight away because it comes from a source you don't like. Basically, so do your due diligence.
Got you. So do you guys think where people get their news from should be privately owned, so like private companies versus government owned? What do you guys think about that difference in news?
I mean, no news should be owned by the government.
No news
should be owned by the government.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, a government should they can have a favorite place where they choose to put out their news, but no news should be owned by the government.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, you're breaking the space of what is called the medium, the media. You're breaking that barrier. Like that's a household legacy, no longer a medium. Yeah.
Yeah, that's where it's ending. I was just getting your thoughts on that one.
Yeah, I'm inclined to agree with that as well because you need people keeping you in check. Like we need to, their job is to tell us what you're doing, and tell us what's going on.
When a journalist is paid on board for, that's a spokesperson, not a journalist.
Exactly.
Alright, I like it. Let's dive into social media then, as you guys were talking earlier. I like the point you were talking about spaces, right? And how it doesn't feel like there's a designated space for a specific group of people in Nigeria. But couldn't that be beneficial? That you can talk to everybody at the same time in Nigeria. Couldn't that be a good thing if used?
If harnessed properly, I see how that could work, but I don't know. I would like there to be, more, let's say more groups, like a more vociferous space, because if everybody's stupid, everybody's just stupid at one time. I want there to be a group of people that have sense. Yes, I don't know. But I can see how that can be beneficial. Yeah, it allows for news to spread very fast. It allows for misinformation to spread faster as well.
Right.
But
Who do you think spread news faster? Fools or intellect?
fools for sure. It's easier to digest. So like that would always be a losing game if we just have one echo chamber. I don't think truth can never compete with lies in terms of like dissemination of news.
Of course. Okay. Alright, so going to the needs of social media itself. First question here is, social media has changed how Africans consume news, or has it made information more reliable or more chaotic?
I think social media is more, like democratized in a way. So people are allowed to. There are now so many CNNs everywhere and Fox everywhere.
So pretty much what Martin was saying, somebody you've championed in your group to listen to. We have many of those people now.
What if is a fool that you're championing?
Well, I mean, technically, what you could be championing the fool, but that's actually what he was saying, right?
I think it's good that people have a voice and news now spreads faster. Also, at least now you can easily read the temperature of the country just by seeing what they are talking about in their spaces. I think that's a good thing. But the problem is that the same way social media can accelerate intelligence and knowledge, can also accelerate the exact opposite of intelligence.
That's very true. Depending on who you pick up in the community.
Yeah. Also depending on the level of, education in the community as well. The only thing I would say that is a good thing about formal education, it gives you a guide on how to, even though the guide is Western these days. Social media kind of puts you all towards whatever path. Like, let's say if you believe dogs are supposed to be yellow in color, or do you think you spend entire time on social media how to put to yourself how dogs are yellow? So,
yeah, to Chidalo's point, I mean, first and foremost, it's called social media. If you speak a good enough English and you know the meaning, then you're already doing well. It's called social media. So anything that you take into there, you take it with a social light, social,
The social salt.
social, let it be social. It means a place where everybody within a community can come out and voice their opinion. Some have trigger fingers, they might even be able to say it right in front of you, but that's the place they can say, man, fuck that governor, man, fuck him. It don't mean what they're saying is right. It means they only understood it from their own perspective, and then when they post it, if they are guided in their community, if they are guided within their space, depending on, who knows the person, they're able to say, hey, come here, man. It becomes a conversation. People can learn from their social conversation what is true, what is wrong, and what is right. But just take it with a tad of socialness and a tad of common sense, and you will not be led astray. The definition is in the meaning, social media.
Okay, So, I mean, pretty much people can rely on these places for authentic news, but take it with a grain of salt. It's just another means of
do your due diligence.
right.
Yeah.
Like for example, now, if our community was so great, now I'm talking about our community, or now I'm talking about our little Lugard community, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're so fire. Anything that is going on socially, maybe, when we start being more active with our people, when we, people are like, okay, these people seem like they know what they're talking about. At least they're able to let us see from every guided point why they're saying these things and this and the third. Then the social media will help our social community prop up what we are saying, because clearly these people can represent us on this kind of this. If we have someone that's a good singer and someone is telling us no, there's someone else that can sing better in Dallas, we in our little, Georgia County will be like, hey, check this motherfucker out. And we come behind it and say we bank on that. That's how it's supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
But instead of us knowing the game, we think it's supposed to be, man, they're hating on me. I started this first. I started that first. Is who first said it? Who first did it? Who first? That's a nigga mentality.
Mm-hmm.
That's not a social media mentality.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, true. You should take it with a grain of salt at the end of the day, sha. But this takes me back to like way back in the days. I feel like I want to draw a parallel between like the town criers and the village gossipers from way back. I would say the town criers are the the CNNs or the Arise TVs. Maybe those that are influenced by the leaders in the sense that they come and disseminate
Tell us,
information.
because they're closer to the source.
Yes, and then the village gossipers in the community.
And the ones that
and the social media.
Yeah, they might not like the news that is out there, so let's not manipulate
Let's go
it.
manipulate it.
Mazi said,
They stole banana fish.
I was there.
It's so funny, human beings don't really change and they take it more seriously. They take us
Because like you said, the fools are the best. Bro, nobody got more sauce than his food. Nobody got more juice than the food. Bro, what is you talking about? Sexy.
How do you guys feel about Nigerian stories on Twitter?
Nigerian stories on Twitter.
Nigeria what?
Nigerian stories on Twitter. Just how
Well, I like
how the Nigerian space is there.
Oh, you mean the account called Nigerian Stories?
No.
Don't worry.
Like you mean how Nigerians participate on the
Yes,
face of
our
Twitter?
echo chamber of Twitter. What is that experience like?
Bro, I personally feel like I rate it a little bit more than Facebook because you find a little bit more intellectuals on there.
Hmm.
I used to know, but in my opinion, that's what drew me to it initially. But I've
Before I lose my train of thought, I take it just exactly how Chidemo described it in the first initial. Town criers, and I believe if we look deeper into it, we are truly just gossipers.
Bro, I think right now Twitter has become a cesspool of misinformation and gossip and just I don't even know. Like
I say that to say,
it's hard to get serious.
because I was thinking so hard when Chidalo was saying all of this stuff, and then you asked that question. I was thinking so hard. I remember one episode where I said we are truly a vibe.
A vibe.
Yeah, we are a vibe. You cannot like if you want something to flourish, you gotta put a vibe around it.
True.
And we are a vibe.
True.
So if we're a vibe, it means there's more of something within us that is creating that vibe.
Mm.
And we need to know what is the source of the vibe.
Any ideas?
No, I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, it's sort of Nigerian vibe.
Yeah. What do you think the source is?
I don't even know. I think it's because I would like to see our population because
Oh, 280 million.
we're a lot. Like if we push anything, it's being pushed.
Bro,
Best
who are you
thing.
playing with? Like, what
If
are you talking
we,
about?
bro, even the ones that can't even afford their daily meal they have iPhones.
Bro, haven't you wondered why like our feeds are so powerful when if it's a Nigerian feed?
Mm.
Because like bro, 280 mil is not a bro. P.S. Moyama only have max 1 million people that watch him, and it goes that far. Bro, you're now talking about in a dense concentration of 280 mil.
that live that
Bro,
have a
stop
habit,
it.
They have a habit of living above their means.
Like-
This nigga is broke and he's buying Zara from America and complaining about Tinubu and the economy.
Bro, what?
And someone that barely earns $1 a day has an iPhone and they are tweeting and they are
Bro, come
they are
on, bro.
insulting Davido.
Bro.
Now,
Population.
if you push something, bro, all these online beggars ever called you.
What?
Literally, I was on my bed one
Online
day.
beggar.
I got a
What is that?
WhatsApp video call, and I picked up the phone and I saw
Video?
Yeah, a video call on WhatsApp. I picked up the phone
Level.
and I saw someone like lying down with crutches, like, "Guy, I never dropped this money in a bag." I was
See,
scared.
that's what I'm
shit,
telling
yeah.
you, like-
and I turned off the phone, bro.
I remember
not
one time
kidding
we
you.
talked, there was an episode that we
See
had.
Instagram.
Yeah.
A lot of them are there, begging
Bro.
on comment sections.
Like a Nigerian who have a business
Mhm.
and they're thinking about posting more of their lifestyle before they post their business on the social media. That's what that's the testimony he just gave right there.
Well, this all goes down to poverty mentality, though. At the end of the day, so you're thinking survival. Maybe he's, but I think he should have an iPhone, though. Like,
Right.
maybe he stole it. So
So many new rounds.
yeah.
Stole it and unlocked
But
it.
you can sell it though, $1,000.
That village now, sharp.
Sharp, bro, right.
And just maybe start from a small business, maybe you pure water, as opposed to calling me to tell me to give you money.
Bro, that's what I'm saying because
What does
it's
sell food?
it's interesting, like, and you'd be so surprised because these people are so like creative.
So creative.
Yeah, they
So
are.
that's what I was looking for, right? When I asked about like what's that our creativity. Nigerians we go crazy with that shit.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, what they can just do in the room.
But I believe it's because like the source of how you learn about this new house is already contaminated. Like the idea of like maybe like a beggar knowing about social media is because he will see about the rich and wealthy on there. So if that space is already contaminated, is think, oh, rich and wealthy come in to flaunt themselves. So me as a beggar, all I can do is just beg on there. Like, you know. So that's what I mean by, but it's never like a place to feel like, to make people know that, oh, this is the way to make people know or create an awareness around your situation. Because if you're going around through that kind of mindset, then your orientation of how you want your narrative to be heard will be different. But just because you are more in a place of, oh, ballers on social media, so I am not a baller, so this is what should be my. Because if you watch the ones that get it, like, let's look at Soulja Boy and YouTube. Let's use that as a referendum. Soulja Boy wasn't thinking that like, oh, I need to go beg on here. He was thinking more like, I have a talent that I need people to see, and if they're rich, they will pay me for it. So he went on YouTube to broadcast his own.
For like I was providing value.
Exactly.
Then again, maybe someone who has got to the level of being a beggar before getting an iPhone, like you said, his brain is already warped. It's a survival mentality.
At that point. Right.
Yeah. Because you will see someone that probably has the same amount of money as him and gets the phone, and their job is to be dance online. And that's what they want to do, and they just make the money.
When they blow from there.
And they go from there because it happens to a lot of people. Well, you asked something about like the source of creativity or whatnot.
Source.
Yeah, I think you asked something about the source of.
So he said that we have a vibe.
Yes,
So it's like so we don't have a source for our creativity.
We think our source of the vibe is our creativity.
Inside Nigerian.
So what's the source of the creativity? Is it the
I mean, definitely the journey of the person is the source of their creativity.
Yeah,
I mean, to each one.
Of course,
to each one. Yeah, that's why you would say Nigeria that was in America. And shout out to this guy that just became like CEO of is it Apple Red Lobster or yeah, the Nigerian guy.
The madness.
See, like exactly, like see, that was his journey that helped him become that creative to be able to look at that space and say, oh, this is what I can do. So it's it's a journey for each.
I guess at the end of the day, like population does create a new level of competitive edge in a sense. That's why you should have like 12 kids. So maybe.
No, you're not wrong. You're not wrong because if you like honestly, if I was privileged to what you're saying, if I was privileged, I would like to have as much kids as possible. Like I would never turn myself to as much kids as I could have. If only I could be an impactful father. Like I don't even have to be impactful. I just have to be impactful in the life of 5. Because you get 5. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Because the 5s will be your example, your legacy. Yeah.
But then in that 5, you also influence the other 5. You might not have a direct influence, but they will pass the influence down to the younger ones.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Because the first 5 will be your legacy. Yeah. So they know what you're about. So that's what they're oriented to be, and they can, them being a Nigerian and their vibe, they can be creative with everything you.
Yeah, and also this is the most populous black nation in the world. And the entertainment and black people, it's a thing. So you usually have a population of arguably the most entertaining people on earth.
Literally.
So
final one for me on this one, we'll go for our cut. What would it take for Africa to have a truly independent, globally respected media voice? Do we even care about that? Or are we fine with being part of someone else's narrative? One more question.
Honestly, I think it's nurturing a population that finds value in objectivity.
So sorry, so you're saying yes, we do care. You think so far we care, and you're giving us a solution to how we can better care.
I think we care more about, as a population, as a people, I think we care more about information that better suits our hearts, as opposed to cold-blooded truths, regardless of whether it makes us feel good or not.
Okay.
It bothers us a lot. I think whether it's the side that whether it's the left or the right, I find maybe it's a human thing too. I find us always more bothered about what the information is, how it's perceived, as opposed to whether what is being said is the truth.
Okay, so the objectivity part you're saying is how we do it.
Yeah.
And then that will get us to become globally respected as well.
I think so. I think when you know your problem, then you can start getting solved. If you keep lying to yourself, you're not going anywhere. You just keep living a fake life.
So first step is to observe and understand the conquer wall.
Yeah, hopefully we as Lugards, that's what we keep pushing, Just say that it is.
Okay. Martin, what would it take for Africa to have a truly independent, globally respected media voice? Do we even care about that? Or are we fine with being part of someone else's narrative?
I think we're fine being part of someone else's narrative. That is where we found ourselves today. And until we truly love we truly love something enough, until we truly belong to something enough, and that's when we can start caring all these things. And I don't think we care, to our Japa episodes and all those kind of things that we've tried to address all these things. So let's not be negligent to all these things that we've been addressing in as much as we can. Like as they said, as our job as the Lugards. But you find out that we have this cancer that hasn't been diagnosed within us. We don't know what it is yet. We have sympathy for everything that doesn't come with enough energy. But something that comes with enough energy, we're not sympathetic to it. I'll just be free with my thinking. if someone is autistic, and because it's autistic negatively, we are easily sympathetic to the person. But if the person is autistic positively, we're not easily sympathetic to the person. Like, you know, that's because we didn't even care enough to understand what autism could mean. That the person is just has a concentration on one field, you know. But once the autism, we were taught to think autism is bad, so we are sympathetic to it. But when the person now displays autism in a positive way, we don't know how to be sympathetic to it. Like if a person comes out and cry out and says this, or is curious to know something, or is curious to talk about something. Like even what we're doing right now, I'll call it positive autism. Like, you know, but you won't see the clouds around it. But if someone shakes their body so hard, you could hear that shit thunder. Like 65 million views in 3 days. So this is what I mean. Like, you know, we are interesting characters. Like, you know, or for example, in the space of intellect, like we could be having a great conversation, it's intellectual, and then a person keep giving more evidence to the thoughts to create more dialogue for the intellectual space, and then you find people saying, how do you know this? Why do you know this? Or why is it only you? You see those kind of things? Like, it's funny how we don't know how to be linear the right way. Like if something is sweet and it's complimentary, but it's positive, show it that energy, reciprocate that energy to it. Don't kill it. It's why I would say I know Jesus Christ has come as a black person, but I know we killed him. Like I have no doubt about that. Because like the way we frown on like, you know, this the people that are willing to challenge what is the cancer to us, the way we address them, it's like we don't want to cure that cancer.
Right.
So yeah.
Right. Okay. All right. Any final words? Close out.
I feel like our last speeches are quite close-worthy.
Votes for you in 2026?
Huh?
And that don't mean anything is wrong with bad bitches. I can make that shit thunder though. I'm just saying,
It's not
leave it at BET. Alright? And leave this at the Lugards. So yeah.
I guess final words: skepticism, due diligence, and let the autistic people thrive.
Let them thrive, exactly. Don't hate on, embrace all autism.